In this video, I'm going to show you why you as a school operator are probably losing about half your revenue. So strap on your seatbelts and let's lock in. So this is a creative strategy growth document, excuse me, that I made about a year and a half ago, 18 months, something like that, maybe 2 years at this point. This was for a client, and we was breaking down what their strategy was going to look like in terms of internet distribution. And I figured I would not show my face in this video because you don't care about that because I have no motion. So let me show you my expertise with this beautiful Miro document, something I made earlier, and my excellent, exquisite voice that you can engage with. Okay, so as you see here, it's broken down into weekly content, monthly projects. Okay, then you've got topics, you've got content shipping, you've got this schedule, daily, weekly, you've got insights, you've got strategy, and all of this myriad of things. But the thing that you need to pay attention to if you're a schooler, if you're a school operator, is this category right here. And the reason being is because you're probably losing out on half your revenue, mainly because you have shabby operations. So you don't have operations like me, okay? So when I actually want to master YouTube and dominate, I need software because as a solopreneur and entrepreneur and creator, I need systems. And if I don't have a systems, I'm not going to be able to dominate the internet. And now I'm going to dominate the internet because I have the best system on the planet. But I'll get to that a bit later. So you're currently running your school community. Let's have a look here. You're running your school community. Everything's great. MRR's looking fantastic. You've picked the right community, the one that has about 22 million users at the moment and about 190,000 school community operators. So a lot more educatees, if that's even a word, students, than the actual people educating, which is natural. So you're making your money, you're making MRR, and you're happy days. But then you're going to have churn. Churn meaning you're going to have users that actually just drop off and be like, hey, I've had enough of this community. I've got my value maxed out of it. You value maxed me enough for the past few months, and now I'm going to leave. But where do those people go? Usually they might drop down to a free tier if you've got one of those situations. They might just, skedaddle on by to somebody else. But in this whole time, you now no longer don't have any money from that person. You don't know who they are, which is the same case in point. The reason why I built First Party in the first place, because I was just sick and tired of other platforms owning my audience relationship. And I was just sick and tired of that, to be honest. So they've churned, they've left your community. You don't know where they are. Okay, all you had was a community that you could reach out to them and bombard them with emails and messages. But now that they've left, what happens? So their revenue has just walked out the door. So I'm actually going to redo this document and give it a 2026 update because the game has changed clearly. And when I highlighted this to my client, I basically said, look, we need to pick a particular platform to go along on. As you could see, primary channel, YouTube. It could be a blog, it could be a podcast, and then you pick one secondary and then one community. Facebook, Telegram, Circle, Skool, depending on, the platform that makes sense to you. But what you don't want is your customers and your users leaving your school community and then you have no way to actually monetize them after. It's actually quite a gaping hole pause that you might have in your business strategy. And this is why you need to have the best system, because you could make a ton more money from school. And heck, you could probably make a lot more money whilst they was in your community before they even churned if you had a system. Now, the system that I'm talking about here is an operating system, an OS, okay? That's what first party is. So this, I guess, would go hand in hand with Skool. We haven't built any community element just yet. There's some things in the works, but, we're trying to focus on getting users right now and the right users, people who are smart, people who actually want systems to dominate the internet. So we've just shipped this today, which I can share with you, which is Content OS. So we bought 200 Views, which was one of my portfolio software products. And now we have gobbled that up and included that into First Party because First Party is a hungry animal. and now it owns 200 views, and now it's called Content OS. So in Content OS, you have all of these lovely things here that you can build your entire content stack. But I'll get back to that another time. You came for this video about Skool and where's my money going? So let's recap here. First of all, you've got your Skool community. If people churn 5, 10, 15% of the time, those customers churn themselves out of the door and they take their hard-earned United States dollars or Great British pounds or euros with them. And you don't want that. So what you need is a mechanism to actually harvest those people into your own operating system. That way, if they churn, then you can always reach out to them and say, hey, Skool guy, I think you should come back because I've done X, Y, and Z now. And they're going to be like, that's intriguing. Maybe I will come back. And how are you going to reach out to them if you don't have their email? How? Answer that question. Tick tock, tick tock. The answer is you cannot do it because you don't own the audience relationship. With first party, that solves the problem because you can always own the data. It's yours. You can always import and export. You can always reach out to them. You can do your email campaigns all from here. And this is your operating system that you keep track of all those people. So whilst you're getting them into the Skool community, right? Where is it? There it is, right? You got them in your Skool community. That's where you want them, okay? Because you want to give them courses. You want to value max to the hills, right? You want to sell them lots of work. You want to take them to school, bro, right? That's what you want to do all day long. You want to do calls. You want to hold their hand, basically. But what you need is, whilst they're in the community and they haven't churned, you need to get them into your operating system, because this is what's going to save your bacon in the future. Because when they churn, which they eventually will, okay, people are just not in these communities forever and just paying you monthly for, for the giggles of it, right? They're going to churn, and there's going to be 5 to 50, maybe 25%, 20%, depends how good the community is. And I'll do another video on this after, on what kind of communities would make sense long term, because I have the data, and yeah, I have the data, so I can share that with you. But you want to get your people from the Skool into your operating system. That's your ecosystem, okay? Because if they leave your community, they're probably going to go to another community. Let's just be honest, right? They're going to skedaddle out and they're going to be like, hey, I'm going to go to this community now because I think this one's better. And thanks for the great time, and I'll see you later. Whereas first party is like, it's a party, right? It never ends. It's always fun here. And it's fun because, we actually own our data over here. We can actually do all of our content and figure out new ways to actually reach out. We can calculate our projections, like how long is it going to take me to get to 100 videos on YouTube? Probably by the 5th of May at this rate, because I'm doing, let's see, if I'm doing 14 videos a week, it's going to take me to the 5th of May, and I could calculate that. First party is fun like that. We have all of the tools that you need as a schooler, as a operator on the internet. But you don't have that. You just have a Skool, and half your money is getting lost every time someone churns out and you don't even know who they are and what happened. They just unsubscribe and that's it. You need control of your audience, chat. You need control. And if you book a call with me, I'll show you this amazing software called First Party OS. We've launched Prelude 26.02 now. We're up to, it's probably going to go to 03 because I've just shipped a new update. So yeah, we're in the future, right? You're probably still behind as a schooler and only doing that and only dependent on people just being so excited and just staying in your school. So yeah, you don't want your money going out. That's half your revenue going out. You need a better system. And I'm not talking about Google Sheets and all of this nonsense. Like, I'm sick and tired of that. Anyone who tells you to set up a Google Sheet doesn't respect your intelligence. End of video.